you doing there, people? Summer cocktail 24. Call this piece Counterbalance. I wouldn't call it offset, but counterbalance. When you get a tire change, you have your valve that you put your air in, and what they'll do is they'll put a little piece of metal on the rim on the opposite end, and they'll make sure your wheel is spinning, for whatever reason. I don't know the technical things on that, but that's not what I was talking about here. Counterbalance. I'm preparing some videos in there, and beginning of summer, I got some family things coming up pretty soon, and doing a little more reflecting on the school I went to. I graduated a couple of years ago, but I started there in the 90s. Hey, Boopy! Boopy, oopy, boopy, oopy, boopy. Anyhow, I got involved in Chicano studies. My eyes are green, my hair's brown, but my mom, she had dark skin, and her maiden name's Blanco, and I have Hispanic heritage. And I'm not gonna go into all the details. I took an intercultural class in a community college not far from here in 1994, and I studied communications. And one of the tendencies is for people to assume similarities, in the way they process things, in the way they internalize and conceptualize things. There's a lot of people out there that primarily identify themselves, different ways: geography, gender, sexual orientation, political party, religion, body type, maybe your occupation or something. And different cultures have tendencies to behave differently, and I didn't really realize this. Might have talked about this before, but in America it's a little more straightforward, A to B, and there's cultures that don't communicate directly, a lot like I'm doing right here. I have a point, but before I get to the point, I'm going to set it up. Someone that's a little more forthcoming would just start the video by saying, "You know what? So-and-so sucks." Boom. And then, A to B, bam, straight to the point. No explanation necessary. But the Spanish culture, it's a little more collective, or at least this is what we're taught in the 90s, than the typical Anglo-American culture. Meaning that there's an emphasis on getting things done in groups, a little more so than out here. And the phenomenon that seems to happen is it's harder to break away from a group. And when it's not really going well, it's called machismo. It's a male-dominated culture. I think it's changing a little bit. But anyhow, I remember being in a meeting at Pitzer in a cafeteria. There's a closed-off section for groups, and one of my advisors was talking about, and we had a guitar player that played with Madonna, He played on La Isla Bonita, you know that song. And this is the first time I heard about this idea about in the Hispanic culture, and I don't know if it's true for all collective cultures. They call it a crab mentality. A crab mentality. If crabs are in a pot together, and one of them's climbing on other crabs and is about to escape the pot, the tendency is for whatever remaining crabs there are to pull the crab back into the pot. And, you know, I want to just talk about, you know, in real life, perceiving, you know, somewhat, you know, this phenomenon. And like I said, there's perks in being in the collective culture. There seems to be an invisible floor. You know, here's a floor down here, right? Down there. There's a floor. And, you know, when you're struggling, they give you the bare minimum necessities, sustenance, whatever you want to call it, to get by in life. But if you're about to succeed, there's this crab mentality where, you know, you know, there's a tendency for people to fucking pull you back in. And I probably blogged about this, actually. I'm almost sure I have. It's one of the comedians, Paul Rodriguez, Macias, or whatever. George Lopez, can't remember. But one of them talked about, you know, when Hispanics go ahead to college and get their degrees, you'll always have someone in the family tell them, I can still kick your ass. I can still kick your ass, you know. So, you know, this piece is about the counterbalance idea, though, where I just wrote a book, and I'm proud, is Brick Jane, and I've done a few as God of Rockefeller, scribd.com/Homer Cocktail. You can read them. But I just ordered, you know, online my book, because we can do that now. The old-fashioned way is, you know, you get a publisher and they mass produce your book, and if it doesn't sell, then you have a bunch of physical books out there on the shelves collecting dust. But nowadays, at this place called lulu.com, they'll print the book whenever someone buys one. If someone buys 100 books, they'll print 100 books and send them off. So I went ahead and bought a few of my own books, you know, so I could give to family members, and I'm proud of it. And I posted this thing at Homer Cocktail 4, another chat site, about paranoia and intuition and hypersensitivity. And I had already posted a thing called propensity. And I wrote about it in Thermite. You know, one of the characters talks about propensity, where there seems to be this thing that right before I graduated, or was supposed to graduate in '98, I started feeling people, instead of cheering me along, you know, they were like fucking with me, man. People were fucking with me, and it wasn't just, you know, you know, as friends, as family. It wasn't just one type of person. And then I was going to graduate again in 2011, and you could check out the Gunk or Glop at Homer Cocktail 4. It seemed like it was happening again. And it hasn't happened yet, but I feel like I'm making progress. And there seems to be the social counterbalance that if I achieve, you know, let's put this in a video game. There's other poopy over there. Let's put this kind of in a video game metaphor. If I achieve 5 points in life, you know, right? You know how you play Mario Brothers and you get points for doing this or points for doing that. If I achieve 5 points, someone that wants you to stay in that pot is a crab, right? They're gonna disparage you by 5 points, and it's real frustrating. I'm coming on 10 minutes. It's kind of like, you know, you're walking along this treadmill of life, and the faster you run, the faster they speed up the treadmill is all. And let's hope it doesn't happen. I'm not a pessimist, and I'm not becoming a pessimist. But, you know, look forward to good times. And, you know, let's hope for the best. And I'll leave it at that because we're at 10 minutes. Party on. Hello, booby. Booby, booby, booby.